make a study guide for our language test tomorrow. So at the top of your notebook paper, you should write study language. And test. And our test is Friday, March 12th. First thing on it is diagram. And you're just diagramming the subject and the verb. And I want you to do it like this, subject, verb. And you also, underneath that, have to mark the sentence. So I also want you to write subject again, and underline it once, and write verb. And even put the word phrase, because sometimes it's not just a verb, right? It's a verb phrase, and underline that twice. And that would be in the sentence, you have to do that. Why are you tearing that out? That is not notebook paper. Notes book paper. Your 3-ring binder? Notebook paper, buddy? We've done this before, no? Get out the 3-ring binder. I'm not sure why you have so many pencils out. You do not need 4 pencils or how many pencils that was. Alright, I will give you a page number in the backs of your language books. If you need to review diagramming, they have it on page 194. And a little bit on 195 for the rocket ship and verb. Okay, so 194 and 195. So add the page numbers after that. Up here where you wrote subject / verb, page 194. 195. And if I come check your paper, are you writing what I'm writing on the board?
Yes.
You better be. Next time, you have it up on your desk. It's not going to fall out if you have it up on your desk. Why do you keep having it hanging off your desk when you open it? Gravity makes it fall out. Get it up on your desk to open it. Alright, so the second section on your test, and I believe that we have some diagramming to do on our paper today, which will be review. You know what? I don't know what you have these. Because I have told you to get your own notebook paper. You did at the beginning of the year, but you brought the sheet binder that doesn't fit in your desk. Yesterday you supposed to have a small binder. You can just continue on from there. Alright, the second section on your test has to do with finding all the pronouns. So I'm just going to say you need to know pronouns. And they're going to give you a list of nouns and pronouns, and all you have to do is go through the list and circle all the pronouns. And again, I will find a place in the back of your language book that lists those pronouns. Move to the Z and that's it on the right. Alright, pronouns. The list of pronouns is on page 198. So after pronoun, no pronouns, and pronouns. They list them. It says use these pronouns in the subject part of the sentence, which that will also be helpful because you have to decide that. And they say I, we, she, he, they. Use these pronouns in the predicate part of the sentence, and there's me, us, her, him, them. And then use these pronouns for either. And that was the words you and it. You and it went either way. Yes?
I thought the pronoun was if you capitalize it.
No, that's proper. Proper noun.
Oh,
Proper noun. A pronoun takes the place of a noun. In other words, you've already told us what you're talking about. Like if you were talking about a salamander, you would say salamander, and then you might use the word it in the place of salamander instead of saying salamander every time.
Okay.
You would say it. It has moist skin.
Alright.
Okay?
I thought you were talking about for like.
No, proper noun is the one you capitalize. A That's a
Okay.
particular person, place, or thing.
Okay.
There's a lot of things, cause then plural, cause the other day when we did that, when you had the definition for common noun and proper noun and singular noun and plural noun, some of you on that mixed up plural and proper. Even though we did that together as a class, some of you drew the line from the word plural to the definition for proper, and from the word proper to the definition for plural, cause you weren't really paying attention. They are not the same word. Alright, the next section on your test, you're going to have to divide the sentence between the subject and the predicate, and then you will have to pick the correct pronoun. So again, this page will help you, but also dividing between the subject and predicate. Alright, so you will have, whoops, I put sentence already when I need to put number 3. Alright, so number 3, with sentences, you're going to divide between the subject and the predicate part of the sentence. Divide the subject and predicate parts. And then use correct pronoun for that part. In other words, after you divide the sentence, if the pronoun is in the subject part of the sentence, you use one of those pronouns that you use with a subject. And if it's in the predicate part of the sentence, you use one of those pronouns that's used with the predicate part. And you would find that on page 198. And I'm gonna write that. Use correct pronoun for that part. So by use correct pronoun for that part, you should write page 198. But to review, dividing a sentence between the subject and the predicate. Do we even have that somewhere? I know we've done it before many times, but I don't know that it's in the back of your book. I see the word subject. See the word predicate, but I don't see a place where they divide it in the back of your book. But you guys have papers like that. You would have papers like that in your thing. Plus, we're gonna do it today on the papers we're doing today. Alright, so just look for the starred section. Let's just put a star by that. You can put a red star by that, because there's gonna be a section just like this on your test. So put a star by that, so you can just refer back to the paper we do today. Because we're gonna do it today. We're gonna do it today, and then you can take it home and then bring it back and put it in the stacks tomorrow, okay? Because I won't check it before you do it. You just better be listening as we do it. Some of you guys don't listen as we do it, and you end up with wrong answers because you're just having to do it on your own, because you're not really listening as I do it. So you can study that section. Maybe the same thing up here, that diagram. We'll have a section of diagram that you can study too on your paper. Alright, then the next section, you need to find the pronoun in the sentence, and then you're gonna find the noun that that pronoun is taking the place of. So again, this is another section. So in these sentences, you're going to find pronoun, and you're gonna circle it. So I want you to circle the word pronoun, and then you're going to find noun, and I want you to underline it, that it takes the place of. And after you've underlined the word noun, I want you to draw an arrow from the word pronoun to that noun that you underlined. So that's what you'll be doing in the section right here. You're gonna find the pronoun and circle it, then you're gonna find the noun that it's taking the place of. Usually it's gonna be going that way, but not always. There's times when you might have to go that way. Anyway, I'm gonna tell you to put a star by that section too, because we'll be doing something like that on your paper today. Okay, I really don't think that's gonna be something you can find in the back of your book either.
What do you have to page number?
Please stop talking out. Raise your hand if you need to ask me a question. Go
What
ahead.
about the page number, like the page that we did?
I just told you. Well, it's the page we're doing today.
Oh.
So, there's 2 of them, and we're gonna star them. Just like you're gonna put stars here, back to the stars that we're gonna put on there,
Got it.
okay? So these stars in here are gonna refer back. You could even put a star up here by the diagramming section. Even though I gave you page numbers for diagramming, there's also gonna be today's paper, has diagramming on it, doesn't it? Doesn't one up? Yep, well, I can see the diagram from here. So
Yep,
today's paper has diagramming on it. And that is it. So we're ready to begin our paper. I just realized you can see everything I wrote, so I'm gonna move the camera so you can see everything I wrote. There we go. And I am gonna start the paper. There's a star there. You can't see the star. Alright, even if you're not finished writing, we can start the paper and you can go back and finish this in a minute. Okay, guys? Stop already working on this, you'll just have to finish that later. Everybody stop doing your study guide. Let's go ahead and do your paper.
Can we start this?
It's okay. Too many stars, I didn't put that many stars. Okay, let's start with page 138, the page that has the diagramming on it. Everybody should be on page 138. And make sure you're paying attention. Some people are already not paying attention because they're too busy messing around with their chair. Put your chair down and get page 138 now, please. Alright, the very first section, you need to go ahead and put a star by that section because that is like,
The first 1 second?
that is like number 3 on the board. What we're doing for number 3 that you wrote in your study guide, sentences, divide them between the subject and the predicate, and then use the correct pronoun for that part. So if it's a subject part of the sentence, you're going to put S on the line. If it's a predicate part of the sentence, you're going to put P on the line. Why don't we look at the chart right before we start this? Let's look at the chart one last time. Alright, so I'm going to hold the chart up. Alright, so our pronouns, the subject side, these are used for the subject, would be I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they. And then the predicate part of the sentence would be me, you, him, her, it, us, you, them. Remember the word you and the word it is for both subject or predicate. You need to hurry up. Hurry up. So we can begin.
Can we start with second section too?
No. Oh, we'll start when we get there. Can we just do one thing at a time though? Got it. We have a hard enough time with some people paying attention without me going ahead. Alright, so we're going to draw a line between the subject and the predicate part of the sentence. Then we're going to underline the verb twice. Then we're going to underline the subject once. And then we're going to circle the correct pronoun that needed to be used for whatever part of the sentence is. Plus, we're going to write S or P, depending on if the pronoun was in the subject part of the sentence or the predicate part of the sentence. So let's start by reading the sentence. George and I or me have finished our lunches. So where are we going to divide it?
After I or me.
All right, you need to think in your brain, let them answer.
Okay.
You're reading too much. I need them to answer. So after I or me, draw the line. After I or me, draw the line, and let's look at the predicate part of the sentence. Have finished our lunches. What is the verb?
Finished.
I said look at the predicate part of the sentence and tell me what the verb is. So what is the verb? Thank you. How many times are you going to underline have finished? 2 times. Make sure you underline have finished 2 times. Okay, now let's look and say who have finished.
George.
So underline George. Stop. Don't just say George so far. George gets underlined how many times?
Once.
Now we have that choice of pronoun.
I.
Is that pronoun in the subject part of the sentence or the predicate part of the sentence?
Subject.
So go ahead and put an S for subject. Go ahead and put an S for subject. Go ahead and put an S for subject. Thank you. Wow. And then circle I, and then what else do you need to do to the word I?
Underline.
Yes, you need to underline the word I because it is also part of your subject. George, I, that's the subject. That's who have finished. George, I have finished. All right, let's go to number 2. Read it with me. She or her is visiting her cousins this weekend. All right, where are we going to divide it this time?
After she or her.
Yes, after she or her.
Don't we have to do SOP?
We did. You were not. In fact, I said it like 3 times because he wouldn't do it. sitting here watching him, he wouldn't do it, so I kept saying it, and he finally did it after I said it 3 times. All right. I don't know why you did that, because we haven't done it yet. Why would you do that when you don't even know? You obviously don't know. All right, let's look at the sentence. What is the verb? Look at the predicate part of the sentence. What is the verb?
Visiting.
Yes, is visiting. What are you going to do to is visiting?
Underline it twice.
Yes, underline it twice. That is your verb. Then you ask yourself, who is visiting? She. She or her, but which one is it going to be?
She.
Why? Why is it going to be she?
Because it's on the subject side of the sentence.
Yes, that is the subject side of the sentence. You just divided it right here, so that is the subject side. This is why you write S for subject side. If it was over here on this side of the divide, that would be your predicate side, right? Okay. So what do you need to do to she? 2 things.
Circle it and underline it.
Circle it and underline it. You can use a pencil. Circle it and underline it. Let's go on to the next one. Mandy gave he or him a puzzle this week. For a birthday present. Sorry, got off the wrong sentence.
After he or him.
No.
After Mandy.
Yes, after Mandy. Because what's the next word after Mandy? Gave, which is the verb. Gave, the verb, needs to be on the predicate side, doesn't it? All right, so divide it after Mandy. Because who is the sentence about? The sentence is about Mandy. What did Mandy do? She gave. So Mandy is going to be the subject. Gave is going to be the verb. What are you going to do to gave? Underline it twice. Very good. Who gave?
Mandy.
So what are you going to do to Mandy?
Underline it twice.
Yes. Now where is the pronoun choice? On the subject side of the sentence or on the predicate side?
Predicate.
Yes, it is on the predicate side. So put a P. And our choices were he or him. Which one is used on the predicate? Him. Mandy gave him a puzzle. Are you with me back there? I don't feel like it. And you gotta understand, I just graded some language papers last night, or checked them so I could send them home with you today, and you have not been paying attention. Pay attention, please. All right. Do you need to underline him?
No.
No, because it's not the subject part of the sentence. We only underline the subject once. So why did you underline that? Guys, you're not going to circle it and underline it every time. You're only going to underline it if it's also the subject of the sentence. So if you were putting an S because it was in the subject part of the sentence, then you're going to underline it too. Do not just circle and underline all of them. If it's on the predicate side of the sentence, it does not get underlined because it's not a pronoun being used as the subject of the sentence. You're going to wear one of the blue masks that I have because you still are keeping it over your nose. All right, next one. The missionaries told we or us an exciting story. Where are we going to divide it?
After missionaries.
Yes, after missionaries. What is the verb?
Told.
Told. So underline told
Twice.
twice. Who told?
Missionaries.
So underline missionaries
Once.
Now, where is the pronoun choice? On the subject side or the predicate side?
Predicate.
So put a P for predicate.
Underline we.
And which one are we going to use? Us. The missionary told we a story. Does that make sense? The missionary told us. Plus, when we looked at the chart, predicate side, do you see the word we over here? No, you see the word us. We is on the subject side. And it doesn't even make sense to say the missionary told we a story. Do you need to underline us?
No.
No, because it is not the subject part of the sentence. You're not paying attention. Please let me pay attention, please. All right, let's read the last sentence in this section. Mrs. Benson gave stickers to she or her and I or me. All right, so we're going to divide it. After Mrs. Benson. Find the verb. What's the verb? Gave. Starting with the verb would be the predicate part of the sentence. You know that. You gotta have a verb, right? All right, so after Mrs. Benson, what's the verb?
Gave.
Gave. So underline gave
Twice.
twice. Who gave?
Mrs. Benson.
Mrs. Benson gave, so underline Mrs. Benson.
One.
Where is their pronoun choice? On the subject side or the predicate side?
Predicate.
Predicate side, so put a P for predicate. Look, sometimes you don't know it and you get the answer wrong. Alright, so what are we gonna pick?
Her.
Mrs. Benson gave stickers to her. Or Mrs. Benson gave stickers to me. So you want her and me. You would not say Mrs. Benson gave stickers to she. No, you would say Mrs. Benson gave stickers to her. You would also say Mrs. Benson gave stickers to me. So if you separate them out, it's easier to understand. Okay, Mrs. Benson gave stickers to her. Mrs. Benson gave stickers to me. So you would use the predicate pronoun ones. Okay? Now we're going to diagram. So we're going to do the same thing we've been doing as far as dividing it and underlining once and underlining twice, subject once, verb twice, or verb phrase, and then we'll diagram it. Hurry up, please. Let's read the first sentence. Joey is reading an exciting mystery book. Where we're going to divide it? Yeah, divide it after Joey. By the way, did you guys put a star?
Yes.
You guys have a star by the diagramming section? Put a red star by the diagramming section too. This is good practice. Look at it tonight. Make sure you're listening as we're doing this, so you're doing it right. And do not work ahead, because some of you think you know what you're doing and you don't. You're going to find out when I hand your papers back to you. Some of you I had to actually write, we did this together in class on your papers. Because you don't have the right answers even though we did it together in class. Alright, so what are you going to write on the first part of the diagram? Joey. What did you want? Did I even do the verb part?
No.
Alright, what's the verb part?
Is
The is reading. Underline is reading twice. Under who is reading?
Joey.
Joey. So underline Joey once. And then in the first part of the diagram, you're going to put
Joey.
And in the other side of the diagram, you're going to put
Is reading.
Is reading. Joey is reading. I think next time we do diagramming, we're probably going to be adding more to it than just doing the subject and the verb.
Two on both sides.
X, not Y. Please make it look like Y. All right, let's do the next sentence. Franklin and I rake leaves for Mr. White. All right, we're going to divide it.
After I.
After I. So look at the predicate part. What's your verb?
Rake.
Raked. Only one verb this time. We did it. We're on Franklin and I raked leaves. Don't tell me you did that. No. No. You did not divide it right. That's not what we said to divide it. Erase that right now. Who is this sentence about? Yes, that's where you divide it. What did we do? What did they do? Rake. That's your verb. Who did it? Who raked?
Franklin and I.
Okay, do you need to underline and?
No.
No, just Franklin,
Franklin,
I.
I.
So raked, you underlined
Twice.
twice. Franklin, you underlined
Once.
I, you underlined
Once.
once. Do not underline that word and. Now, notice the rocket ship. The rocket ship is for Franklin on the top, and on the bottom you're going to put I.
Put it in.
Nope, nope. You need to do it the way I said, and if you don't do it the way I said, I would take off points. Franklin is first, so he goes on top. That's why he goes on top, because he was the first subject. All right, on the other side, where it's a single line, what are you going to put?
Rake.
Raked. Franklin, I raked. Hand off your head and pay attention, yes, ma'am? All right, this time we have a rocket ship on the verb side. Okay, so let's read the sentence. The sentence says, Faith answered, sneezed and coughed. Faith sneezed and coughed. So we're going to divide it.
After Faith.
After Faith. This is a very very short sentence. We are diagramming almost all of it, aren't we? So, what is your verb?
Sneeze.
Sneeze, cough. Don't underline it. So underline sneezed how many times?
Twice.
Underline coughed how many times?
Twice.
And who sneezed, coughed?
Faith.
So underline faith.
Once.
Alright, so on the first part of your diagramming line, you're just going to put the subject, which is,
Faith.
and on the rocket ship, the top is going to be,
Sneeze.
and the bottom, okay, stop being stubborn.
Why do you have to do it in order?
Okay, for the most important reason is because I said, and because you put them in the order that they're given to you in the sentence. Yes, ma'am? If I'm teaching you something, then you need to do it that way. Yes, ma'am?
Okay.
Stop being stubborn about this.
Well,
You know what I said, and you just keep doing it the other way anyway.
well, you teach us this, but you didn't like really teach us that. You teach us how to diagram, but you didn't.
Do you see this word is first?
Yes.
And I've been telling you to put the first word on the top, haven't I? Yes? Okay, so you're making this be more difficult than it needs to be, because I did teach you the first word goes on the top of the rocket ship, and the second one goes on the bottom of the rocket ship, right? So don't say I didn't teach you. Read the next one. That says he read, caterpillar crawled up the plant. Where are we going to divide that
After
one?
caterpillar.
After caterpillar.
Caterpillar.
Because that very next word is a verb. What is the verb? Crawl. Crawled. And underline crawled. Twice. What's the subject? Who crawled? Caterpillar. So
But
underline
you read
caterpillar
caterpillar.
once. And on the first line, you're going to write,
Caterpillar.
why are you underlining all of that stuff? Did we say underline all that stuff? What did we say? Crawled. Adam, what did we say? Crawled.
Red caterpillar.
No, we didn't.
Um,
You didn't even say that. And they definitely didn't say that. What did we say? Crawled. What is the only noun on the subject side of that line?
caterpillar.
Thank you. Caterpillar. So you better just underline caterpillar. Otherwise you're going to be getting things wrong. Erase all that. Only caterpillar. And only write caterpillar. And what did the caterpillar do? Crawl. So write that on the... We don't have a one here. Go right up to it. All right, Sarah should have put a star by that section because that is also on it. Now go to page 139. So this will go in your language folder so you can use this to study tonight. All right, on page 139, we're going to just underline the correct word in parentheses. This is review. This is not going to be on the test, so don't put a star by it. This is not on the test. Do not put a star by it. You do this. All right, so this is the choice between its and its. All right, the first its they're showing you is IT''S. Which one is that?
Contraction.
The contraction for it is. What is ITS? I know that.
Ownership.
Thank you. Ownership. You can't just tell me it's its, guys. You guys tell me. ITS is the ownership its. They're both its. Aren't they both its?
Yep.
Yes, they are both its. All right, because it's cold outside, you should wear a coat today. So are we saying because it is cold outside, or are we saying cold belongs to somebody?
It is.
It is. Very good. So you need the contraction. IT''S. So you're supposed to underline it.
Twice?
No, it does not say twice. It's not a verb. It's not a verb. You only do that when it's a verb. They're just saying, that should be tough. You shouldn't see that. Okay, number 2, Dad set the wood there by the fireplace. They're using THERE and THERR. What is THERE? What is it?
Over there.
Over there. Put it over there. So where did Dad put it? He put it over there. What's the other THEIR?
Ownership.
Yeah, that's ownership. Are they talking about, what was the word after? Does the word buy belong to somebody? No. So they're saying Dad put it over there. Where did he put it? There. Where did he put it? There. THERE. Underline it. Your Wet boots are dripping water on the floor.
Why
All right, the
are you
first
all-
your is Y-O-U-R. Which one is that? Ownership. And then you have Y-O-U apostrophe R-E. That is
are.
a contraction for you are.
wet boots.
So are we doing ownership or are we saying you are wet boots?
Ownership.
Yeah, that would be weird if somebody say you are wet boots.
You are wet boots.
So we need the ownership. How many times are you supposed to be underlining it? Once. This is not a verb. You're only supposed to be underlining it once. You're only supposed to be underlining it once. Why am I having to repeat myself repeatedly to you? Stop underlining it twice. It's not the verb. All right, next one is there, finish sweeping the sidewalk. Okay, the first there, T-H-E-R-E, that is where something is. The second there is they are. Not twice.
I think it's
Stop making me say that.
underlined.
Are we saying they are finished sweeping the sidewalk?
Yes.
Yes, so you need the contraction for they are. T-H-E-Y apostrophe R-E. They are finished sweeping the sidewalk. The bear climbed into its den to hibernate. All right, the first its are giving you is I-T apostrophe S.
Ownership.
No, that is the contraction for it is.
I mean to
What is
write one.
I-T-S?
I'm going to write one.
So do we need it is? The bear climbed into it is den?
No. It's I-T-S.
Okay. Yes, you need the ownership, I-T-S. It's den, the den that belongs to the bear. So just I-T-S, only underline it once. It's not the verb, guys. All right, and the next section is what is like on the test. So you want to star this section. Get your red pen and star this section. All right, so in this section, we're going to do several different things. So first of all, we're going to find the pronoun in the sentence, and we are going to circle it. Then we're going to find the noun that that pronoun is talking about and underline it. Then you need to draw an arrow from the pronoun to the noun that it's talking about. All right, this first sentence says, the sun is shining brightly today, it is melting the snow. So what is the pronoun? It. I shouldn't just be hearing one person answer. It. So circle it. What is the it that is melting the snow? The sun. So go underline sun first, and then draw an arrow from it back to sun.
Once.
Yes, that is what it says. Underline the noun, the pronoun, and it is the noun, so it doesn't get too. It's the other way around, from this back to that. Your arrow should be going from the word it back to the sun. Did you hear me say that your arrow should be going from the pronoun back to the noun? Why are you going from sun back to it? Does sun mean it, or does it mean sun? Then draw the arrow the other direction, please. Like I've taught you. Stop being stubborn about this, please. All right, Ryan said, I am excited about the birthday party, Patrick. Who is answering? Okay, last time I think it was Paige, this time it's you. Why is it just one person answering? Are you guys awake out there?
Yes.
We need a wing.
What is the pronoun in that sentence? I. So circle I. Who is the I that's saying they are excited? Ryan. So go underline Ryan and draw an arrow from the circled I
To Ryan.
to Ryan. Arrow from I back to Ryan. Be ready to write. Stop playing around. You don't have time for playing. Number 3. Would you like to borrow this book, Matthew? What's the pronoun? You. All right. Who is the you that's talking about?
Matthew.
Matthew. So go underline Matthew and draw an arrow from Matthew down, from you
To Matthew.
back to Matthew. So this time our arrow is going the other direction, isn't it? Because the pronoun was first. We missed you, Grandma, said Jenny and Leah.
We.
We.
You.
Okay, stop. We're going to do one at a time. So circle we. Who is the we?
Jenny and
Yes, Jenny and Leah is the we. We missed you. Who's the we? Jenny and Leah. So circle we, Go down to Jenny and Leah. That's who the we is. And underline Jenny and Leah. And you're going to draw one arrow from we, and then you're going to split it off so it goes to Jenny, and then it splits off and goes to Leah. Now, what's the other pronoun? You. Because it says we missed you. So who is the you? Grandma. So you circle you, and you're going to take that arrow to Grandma. Make sure you underline these things. If you don't underline them, you're going to lose points. That's part of what some of you are going to see in the paper I just checked. Some of you did not underline. You drew arrows to them, but you didn't underline them. All right, next one says, Pastor said that he would be preaching about heaven. He. Who's the he?
Heaven.
All right, so circle he, underline pastor, draw an arrow from he back to pastor. All right, we will finish out the paper, but nothing else. It's just review, but the rest of this is not on the test. All right, cannot.
Can't.
Spell it. C-A-N''T. C-A-N''T. That's the weird one. You just have to memorize it, but it's not as hard as another one that we might get to. We're. Write all of.
We.
And then you're going to write.
R-E.
Yeah.
We are.
All of we, apostrophe R-E.
She said we are. You said weird.
And I told you the answer. I shouldn't have told you the answer. I should have said we are, but I said the answer by accident. Are not.
Are.
So write all of. Are. Write all of the word are. Guys, listen. Is all of the word are just A-R?
No,
No, you need A-R-E. Some of you keep not putting the E. You're supposed to write all of the first word except on the two tricky ones, which is will not and cannot. Everything else you write all the first word. What do you do for the not?
N''T.
Yes, N apostrophe T, not apostrophe N-T like some of you keep doing. What's missing out of the word not? The O. That's where the apostrophe goes. N apostrophe where there used to be an O, then the T. All right, next one. He is. He. So write all of he and then apostrophe S. All of you need to be responding. I'm steering Paige. I told her to answer in a brain, so now I'm just hearing Paige.
Then tell her to answer her brain.
Yep, I'm going to have to. If you guys don't start answering, she will becomes
She.
So you're going to write all of
She.
and then will becomes
Apostrophe
Very
L-L.
good. Apostrophe L-L. Last one. You have.
You.
So you're going to write all of.
You.
And have becomes
Apostrophe V-E.
Excellent. All right, last one. We're going to identify each sentence by writing declarative, interrogative, exclamatory, imperative. Oh, we haven't done this in a long time. And then we're going to use proofreader marks to show which letters should be capitalized and to add the punctuation at the end of each sentence. Read the first sentence with me. Please let me help you with those boxes.
I am
No, just raise your hand. What kind of sentence is that?
A declarative.
New,
IMP.
which is
Imperative.
imperative. It's command. Please let me help you. I know you're being polite, but you can be polite in command speech. Right? It's better to be polite about it, isn't it? But if I just said, let me help you. Say that again. So please let me help you is an imperative. You're just doing a polite command. Alright, so please let me help you. So what needs to be capitalized? Please. The beginning of the sentence. And what kind of punctuation does imperative get? Period. So don't forget to insert it. Insert the period. Let's finish the paper first. Thank you. Insert the period. Okay, let's read the second one. What heavy boxes these are. Okay, raise your hand. What is that?
I just want to say, doesn't please change your command
No.
into a request?
No. No, it's just being polite. You're still saying, let me help you. You're just being polite about you. Got it.
Declarative.
Declarative. No. Yes, when you say what heavy boxes these are, it starts with a question word, what, but it's not asking a question, so that's exclamatory. If you're starting with a question more like what or how, but you're not really asking a question, like how beautiful it is today. That is a how is usually a question word, but you're not asking a question, so it's exclamatory. And what heavy boxes these are you asking a question? No, so you know it's exclamatory. And how are you going to punctuate it? Exclamation mark. What needs to be capitalized? What? Just the beginning of the sentence. Let's know. Why did you fill the boxes with rocks?
What?
That's what it says. Why did you fill the boxes with rocks? Yes.
Interrogative.
Yes, interrogative.
No wonder they're heavy.
Yes, no wonder they're heavy. So what are we going to capitalize?
Why?
Why? And since it's interrogative, what punctuation does it need? A question mark. One more. These rocks are for my science project.
What?
All right, Zeke.
That
Did you forget how to say it?
Yes, it is DC. How do you say it? Declarative. Okay, declarative. What needs to be capitalized? These. And what punctuation do declarative sentences get? Period. All right, make sure you study for that test. You have 4 or 3 sections starred to study by. Put these. No. No. Sit down. You're going to put these in your language folder to use them to study. We'll turn them in tomorrow when you bring them back. You guys stop getting up to go put them in the stack, because I told you already. We're going to use these to study by. So put them in your language folder.